Welcome to the Hopcast.
Thanks for joining us once again, everybody.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder.
We're on location
With the special guest! We're here, and this looks very, very naked because it is right now. But one of the newest establishments for good beer here in Chicago is Dryhop. We're out on Broadway in Lakeview. And thank you so much, Brant and Greg, for joining us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is pretty exciting. I see that you guys have a lot of work to do, so it's going to be a busy few months, and we've got some pretty aggressive goals. Tell us a little bit about the place.
Okay, well, this is Dryhop. It's a brew pub concept. We like to kind of consider it a gastro brew pub. We take our beer obviously very seriously, but we're trying to bring food into the element with a similar level of interest and passion behind it, so that if you're just into beer, you can obviously be satisfied, but if you want to have a great food experience too, we can accommodate you on both fronts.
So then doing a lot of beer food pairing type of things, I assume, as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
We all like to eat, right? So
Well, we kind of view it from a slightly different paradigm shift, and it's sort of, we are brewers first and foremost. That's what we're the best at, most passionate about. And what can we brew seasonally that's the most delicious? And then what can we pair to those beers in order to showcase them to the best effect? So we start with beer and then we pair food to it versus the other way around. You make your food and then you source beer.
Sure.
So
Let's go. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a tight space in here, right? You got, what did you say, 70 seats?
yeah, we can seat about 70 people.
Yeah.
So it's just over 3,000 square feet. So we
Okay.
tuck everything in pretty nicely. If you include our basement, it's a little bigger, but it doesn't really count. So.
And then, as far as brew house is concerned, what size brew house are we looking at?
We're looking at a 10-barrel system from Specific Mechanical out of Vancouver, British Columbia. And yeah, we got everything new from those guys, so all the fermenters and all the brights and the brew house are all coming.
So is there a lot of custom work with that? Because you do have some space limitations here, and so getting it laid out exactly how you want to?
Yeah, we had a lot of a lot of height requirements especially, so we had to, originally we had 4 10-barrel fermenters and 2 20-barrel fermenters, so we were going to double batch our flagship beers, but due to height restraints.
Yeah, we're actually standing in the fermentation room right now, so if you look up, you can see this is our height restraint. So
So we actually scrapped the lab, and we're going to order yeast on a by brew basis.
Okay.
And I got 6 10-barrel fermenters.
Well, that's wow. I don't know if I've ever heard of a brew gastropub type space that actually had a lab. That would be pretty ambitious of you.
We would like to.
Yeah, we were going to just to try and save on some yeast costs and be able to cultivate our own yeast and do cell counts.
Right.
Yeah, well, and we'll still be doing a small amount of that stuff, but we obviously can't propagate our own. It's just we don't have the space for it. So.
And we're taking a look at the floor plans a little bit ago, and it looks like it's going to be a very kind of open, inviting type of environment. You got your serving tanks as the backdrop of the bar, which would be kind of cool.
Sure. I don't know if you noticed though, we also had some space requirements with that because the bar we couldn't fit 6 bright tanks back there. We're going to have 6 house beers. So what we did is instead of spreading them out, we stacked them on top of each other.
Right.
So we're going to have 2 tents stacked on each other. So we cut that down to 3, just to cut some of that space behind.
So that probably was another custom job for those guys out in Vancouver.
Yeah,
too.
almost every single piece we've got is fairly customized. The fermenters I think are standard, but that's it. But your question about the layout and the breweries everywhere, is we started with a real passion for the tasting room concepts and how when you go into those, you're really in a brewery first and foremost, and I think that's a really exciting and engaging way to be in a brewery. So we're trying to incorporate that as much as the city will allow us to do it, and build the brewery.
Damn you, Rom!
I don't have my licenses yet, so really no hard feelings. Not a problem.
That was mean. I was speaking on behalf of Dryhop. I can't do that.
Yeah, so we're wrapping our dining room and our bar with as much of our brewery as we can to really showcase it to people.
Yeah, that's cool. It brings the beer to life if you're like, oh, it's brewed right there, and I can see it happening. If you're brewing that day and you're drinking the beer while it's being brewed, it has a nice.
It's kind of an engaging concept, a little inviting. It's nice. So up until this point, been just popping around with a bunch of of your guys in Chicago and doing some collaboration beers. We're drinking some right now. I know I've got the beer to guard that you made with Pete over at Haymarket. Shut up! And yeah, nice hoppy beer to guard. Really tasty stuff, and you've got, and I mean, this is Dryhop after all. You've got a really nice hoppy IPA from with the guys over at Atlas, another really new brewery here in Chicago too. So.
And then
Yeah.
you just have the, or then you said you did one at Lunar,
Yeah.
and so you're just kind of getting the name out there, kind of letting people know you're coming. And
Yeah, it originally started. I got into town and sat down and talked with Greg, and we pretty much said, let's go around town and introduce ourselves.
Cool.
Because there's, 35 new breweries opening up in the next 3 years probably. So Greg said, why don't you take Mondays off and, well, not off, it's work. go around the breweries and introduce yourself and sort of form relationships. So we started doing that and met Brandon up at Hamburger Mary's, and that was our first collaboration. We did a wheat IPA, which is actually going to be one of our flagship beers. It's going to be on year-round at Dryhop. And went from there, met Brad through Lucky Monk actually, up, I'm not sure the town that Lucky Monk is in, but out by O'Hare. And met Brad from Lunar at Villa Park, and we decided to do a summer ale with those guys with lemon balm and chamomile, and then really got to know Pete, and Pete's become probably one of our biggest supporters and really helped us out a lot.
Yeah,
and,
that guy's not a nice guy at all.
And got to do something with him at his place, and then got to know Ben at Atlas, Ben and John at Atlas, and went from there. And Greg's been great, saying just if you can brew it, go do it.
that's what keeps you like you're itching to brew as you're like building out the place. And, like, you just want to brew. You guys are brewers, and you can't do it because license equipment's not here.
Yeah.
So at least you get to have a little bit of fun while you're going through your Chicago permits and build outs and all that kind of stuff.
We've made some great relationships around town, like the four I just mentioned, and also with the Beguile guys, and not just brewers. I mean, we're really great friends with the guys up at Fountainhead and Tom and Kate over at Northdown Cafe. So we're.
Now, you mentioned you just got into town not too long ago. You previously brewed over at Church Brewworks, which we have been, Brad and I have been out, it's out in Pittsburgh. Converted church into a brewery, and man, just a gorgeous place and some really phenomenal beers over there. So
Thanks.
we're really looking forward to seeing what you're going to bring to our town here in Chicago.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
And I can't wait to see this place transform, because we're looking at it as a pretty empty space right now, and you're telling me you're going to be hopefully open
Maybe in February. So we'll see. It's definitely this winter. We'll be open this winter, definitely in time for spring, all that. So it's just a function of how well build out goes. So as you can see, it's a bunker. It's like what we are in. But the fortunate side of that is we don't have a lot to do before we're ready to just do new construction. The only thing we need to do, like demo-wise, left is the floor we're standing on. That'll come out in a couple of days, real quick. Run new lines in, and then it just kind of builds up from there.
Well, it's a pretty exciting time for you guys. We can't wait to have another good place to get beer in Chicago, and we welcome you, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers.
It's good to be here.
Cheers. And thank you guys for watching Hopcast.